Hey now,
Hey now.
welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. We are here with the infamous, famous Sour Shoes.
Oh,
Yes, we are. And if you are just listening to this, we are also on video, which you might want to see because it's going to be fun. And the visual is definitely something to see. So you can find us on the YouTube as well.
Sour Shoes.
Yes.
How you doing today?
What is up?
Yeah. Richard.
So tell us a little bit about your experience, with the Howard Stern show.
Oh my. Well, it's been a wonderful, wonderful voyage. Beginning, since school, making calls to the voicemail over and over, and actually getting through to Stuttering John. Stern show. We're gonna talk that. What about? Yeah, I want to talk about Jackie the Joke Man. Was he on Sergeant Pepper's Sausage and Pepper's Lonely Artichokes Club Band? That was my first call, and I was going to the school bus, the junior high school bus over at the bus stop. We called from the house here when the call went straight to the board. He didn't screen the calls, so that was
Wow.
my first time. And then it evolved, and when I went to school, I used to just show up there at the studio on skates and bring all the instruments there, and then bring a bunch of our coloring books.
Wow, that's great. So how old were you?
Wait, did he let you in with all your instruments?
Eventually, yes, they did. They had me upstairs 3 or 4 times. This was when it was in Midtown.
So how old when you first started calling the Howard
It
Stern
was
show?
junior high, so that's like 13.
About 9. No, probably about 14.
Mm.
9 plus 5, 14.
Yeah.
And how long did you keep doing it?
Right up to the moment.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So wait,
Yeah,
so you're still calling him and pranking him and.
Well, I'm trying to get his home phone number, so I'm trying all the different combinations, like I did for the Clintons in Chappaqua.
Nice.
Yeah, I just figured, I know the interchange. I know the 3 numbers. We can either be a 516, or a 631, out in the Hamptons. So I just started calling all the exchanges and see if he picks up.
Nice.
Problem is, I think our phones are cooked here. I think they're overworked because after a ring or two, ringy poo or 1 or 2, it just disconnects. I think our phones are cooked. Even our incoming calls are petering out.
So then in my understanding of all this, it got to a point where they obviously wanted you to call in, right? And they were getting a lot out of your calls.
You were becoming like a star among them, going, we can't wait until he calls. We want Sour Shoes to call as often as possible. Yeah. Is that correct?
Actually, no. He would disconnect me after a couple seconds. What they did do was, though, they would play my voicemails because I would leave about 19 to 29 of them over the course of a weekend, and they would start and they would play those, and then as soon as if I called in and he got to it, and he would pick up, and I'd go, goodbye. Oh, I can't deal with that, and he'd hang up or something, and then he'd stay on, and then he kind of still does that. He just hang up.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's part of the show. I think that's part of what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I can't deal with that, but then he loves it because he's obviously playing the freaking things. So he's just acting like, I can't deal with it, and then I'm just gonna.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Now, we heard you live off the grid. We want to know, what is it like? This is for our listeners, because what we do, we talk about things about the whole theme is really living your best life. And so we're very interested in any tips you have for living off the grid.
And that is our topic for the day.
That is your topic. We're dropping your topic on you.
Oh, I love it. Well, one of the great parts about it is going for a long exercise walk, because we have a nice train path that used to be for the choo-choo back in the early 1900s into the mid 1960s. They closed this train line that came up from the city, So they turned it into a trailways bike path. And I love to, from here, I love to do a nice long walk up to the shopping center, up to the woods, over to the path, back around, up the path. Sometimes no shoe, without shoes. So I can strengthen the bottom of my soles. Because if you don't have any soles, because if you walk on your heels, you got, how do you save your soul? So I love to do that. And then on the way, I bring a few contractors' bags with me, and I accumulate close to 400 bottles and cans of water, soda, beer, and then I turn that in at either the distributors or the shopping centers. Been doing that since, Richard, we were at your house.
Yeah. Amen.
Wait a minute, isn't that 20 years?
Yeah.
You've been
Yes.
cleaning up 20 years. That's admirable, because I mean, I know you're going and bringing it in, and nobody does that. Like, people, I was walking by something yesterday, I was like, we need to get some people over here. I was thinking about grabbing a bunch of people just to clean up this one area that has just gotten, it takes down the beauty of the entire space when there's bottles and cans and everything. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm walking down the street or I leave my house and I see garbage outside, I pick it up. I mean, what? Why not, right? So wait, you're picking up cans and bottles, and then obviously you go and cash them in?
Yeah, well, first I bring them back here to the garage and I sort them into plastic, glass, and aluminum. But there's no competition here. I was saying the homeless in the city should come up here.
Yeah.
They'd have a field day, pitch a tent in the woods, and they could make $30 a day. There's competition in the city. I mean, it's like law of average. You got to hit every. So there's about 25 containers on my route, at 5 at each gas pump, at each of the gas pumps, and then there's two big waste baskets on the path, and then a huge container at our corner gas station, where there's usually, I mean, a boatload of bottles and cans just put in without even sorting. So I mean, I'm walking home double bagged like Kris Kringle. And how it started out near you in Orange County was, I was doing that at Chapman University. I was loading up. There was big time water in the trash cans, water bottles. All the students were putting in there. And there, remember, there's also juice. Gatorade goes out there where you are. So I was loading up and then rollerblading around, and then putting them on a big table and I think one of those hand trucks, and maybe a dolly. Putting the big table over the dolly, and then putting all the bags of bottles and cans on that, and marching them all the way down to Trader Joe's, which was only maybe on Tustin, maybe quarter to a half mile away. And I started doing that there.
So
wait. So you don't have Gatorade there?
We do, but you don't get deposit for it. So I just take those and I stick them in the recycling container at home. But you don't get cash value for that. But back in California, when I did that, I made enough to buy Little Ig, Zacky Poo. We were able to buy him an Xbox. And it paid for the Greyhound tickets.
Let me ask you a question. On your best day, how much do you make collecting, bottles?
500 bottles and cans, $25 for 2 hours.
Because you're only getting a nickel a piece, right?
Mm-hmm. So 100 bottles and cans is $5. So 500 is $25. That's only for an hour and a half.
Right.
Then you bring them home here and you sort them. That takes about 45 minutes. And then cashing them in, that's another day of the week. You just go right up to our Acme or our Stop and Shop, and you have at it. Or the Hudson Valley Beverage. And that's part of the walk.
Yeah.
Nice. Did I hear you say that the phones there have gotten a workout? Are you still using landlines?
Yes. It's still landline and 2 headsets, but the handset, falls in the pool a lot, the water. And I just think they're cooked. They're overworked from all the phone calls.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it could be.
At least you got a cordless, right? Is that what you're saying? You got a cordless phone with a handset?
Yeah, 2 handsets that get charged. But like I said, I'll dial out, and I'll get through for like a ring, and then it just disconnects.
So, are you on any social media at all?
No.
No, that's good. No, I like this because the thing is people have been talking about how social media has brought things down a lot, and I was wondering if you have any tips for people on how to how to stay off the grid. Do you have any tips for people on how to like not get caught up in the whirlwind that most people are getting caught up in, which is being very attached to their phones?
I would say love, hugs, and prayers. Quite simply, and also the workouts, going out to the chin up bar, like just try to make everything a reward. Like that $25, that is a hard earn, right? There's so much easy ways to make a money, but when you make it hard on yourself, hard yards like in football, or if you go sit in the old Plymouth with the sun baking down on it, then you really appreciate the coolness of the waters or the drink that you're going to have. Once you sit in the car for 10 to 15 minutes in the excruciating 120-degree heat, or in the attic for that matter, then you're really going to appreciate the reward of just walking downstairs where it's maybe only 90 degrees.
So let me ask you a question. So when you say, obviously you're off the grid, so that are you saying you don't use any computers, you don't have a cell phone?
No.
None of those electronic devices. So what about
wait. Was that a no? That's a no. You have none of those.
Yes, it's a no. I did have a track phone, but as Matthew will tell you, it's the calls, but for that it always said out of service.
You have a better chance of communicating with the dead than you do to get in the hole of him.
And that's Matt. That we can't see.
Yeah, the track phone was just supposed to be for emergency calls if there's a thunderstorm or something, but it didn't even work then.
Oh my God. So what about vehicles? Do you have a car?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you said a Plymouth, right?
We have a 79 Plymouth Volare, a Chevy Monte Carlo, and a Prism.
Nice.
Yeah, they're all doing good.
Nice. So being off the grid, are you saying you don't have like a regular 9 to 5 either?
No, actually not. Just even with the direct care that I do for autism, even that's touch and go. That's a couple hour shifts. We'll go to the stores up here. They'll take the shuttle up. We showed them how to ride the shuttle bus. So which they love. They'll come up here and we'll go around to the shopping center. We'll do counting and billing and all of that, or we'll go into Planet Fitness, or we'll go grocery shopping, which they love, and do the bike path, do the walk for the exercise, and then turn in the bottles. I turn in the bottles with them, and they take a little bit home, and they love that. They make up shopping lists, or we do chores at their house. The one day a week that I go to their house.
How did you get involved with, working with the children?
Just shortly after being with you, when we got back here in the winter, I started going to, there's a development called Heritage Hills, which is on the border of Westchester and Putnam County, the Hills. And I was volunteering snow shoveling there so they could get out of their houses. And they said, there's a few families further south than here that would need someone to be a caregiver for this family that has autism. And their friends too have autism. So every day I started going there to their house when my cars had the proper stickers and everything. And I would go there, and like we do now, we would do some chores. We would do some homework, do some schoolwork, do some of the instruments, or just take naps. They wanted to sleep, walk them to the park, and do all kinds of stuff, bake, cook, do some swimming. And that's how that started. And then now where it's hard to get my stickers when I need them, I'll take the shuttle back with them and go to their house, or I'll stay local and I'll give the car a little drive just right up to the shopping center and then back, because I probably shouldn't be taking that on a distance. if they still haven't got me my registration sticker, the updated one. But so aside from that, I'll take the shuttle back to their house with them. So I'll be at their house once a week. And it's a bigger day now. Now it's 8 hours for that. And then up here, when they're back up here, it's maybe 3 or 4 hours a day. And then other than that, I do some chores around a few of the houses here that need things done. Some of them need their different things done on a couple of down the road from here and across the lake. That's fun.
Is everything you do strictly volunteer?
No, they're actually they throw a couple dollars. So I list that as tips and wages.
Yeah. On my tax return.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I had gotten a teaching degree, K through 12 from college, so I'm a certified teacher, and I, like yourself, was teaching a class, autistic class, and man, extremely rewarding. Extremely rewarding. We have no idea. We take a lot of things for granted. Let me put it that way. That these children obviously don't. And man, they at that time they were just so genuine, so kind, so loving. Amazing. I applaud you for doing that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I love how you started it out with shoveling their walks, which everybody needs. There's a lot of people. There's older people. There's people who have disabilities, and then you have found the families through that who are dealing with autism, and now you're helping them with all kinds of different things. If we're talking about tips to stay off the grid, being a part of your community is one of the best ones.
Absolutely.
Because it's so fulfilling as opposed to checking the gram to see some comparison on what your life is like compared to so-and-so's whatever, blah, 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 blah. So much better to be involved in helping people and getting to know them and building the family. Because now you've been working with the same families for how long?
Probably since we were together, Richard. Right around that time.
So that's like 20 years, right?
That's
a long time. That's some real build.
That's commitment. So you pretty much
commitment, but also the community you're building.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
You're really building ties with people.
So you pretty much live your life for fun and for free, and I don't mean that facetiously. I mean that legitimately. That's a compliment. Like you volunteer, you give, and because I guess what I'm trying to say is I know even for myself, I get caught up in not keeping up with the Joneses, but keeping up with myself, being able to, provide for myself, feed myself, have the basic necessities, and
you keep the goals high.
And I keep the goals high. I'm very
always ahead. So you're
hyper vigilant. But you seem to really have embraced living in the moment and living for fun and for free and doing without really concerning yourself with, okay, where am I going to be in 5 years? That's
ask if it's true.
Yeah, what's it going to?
Is that true?
Yeah, what's it going to matter in 100 years anyway?
Yeah. Well, not that many people can do. My point is, not that many people can do and live the way you live.
They could.
They could if they chose to, but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, is what I'm saying.
There's a lot of pressure coming at you from society.
Yeah.
To do
like you said about goals.
Excited to have you on here. What was that?
Like you said about goals, like Wayne Gretzky said, 100% of the shots that were never taken never went in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Felina, you had said on one of our podcasts, and I can't paraphrase it, but it takes as much time.
Oh yes.
Say it again.
Well, people always say, gosh, you know how long it'll be before that happens? And I'll say it'll be exactly the same amount of time as if you didn't do it.
Right.
Excellent. Right. Excellent point.
Yeah. Now you do impressions. I don't know if you'd like to do any impressions or if that's putting you on the spot, but I love impressions.
I think I could sound a little bit. Can I sound a little bit like you? A little bit?
Yes, please do.
Yes, please do.
Oh my God.
Keep going. You can't get to do it for a second. We couldn't hear you on that one. Give it another shot, Sour Shoes. I couldn't hear you on that one. It's cutting out. It's cutting out. I think the universe is protecting.
If it's too loud, you're not proud if it's too loud. I mean, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, Richard. I was like, what was you said there? You know, we were there together. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Adrian.
Yo.
Oh, Roger.
Those fights was handpicked, Rock. They were handpicked.
Friends don't know. They do because they want to do.
Harvey Fire Queen. David, give your mother a kiss. I'm
that sounds
forever
just like her.
blowing bubbles. Hi, Richard Sour Simmons. Hello. Well, I think we should all do a mobile yoga Lattes. How does that sound?
I like it.
Hi, this is Gene Simmons from KISS. I really love this podcast. And Paul Stanley. See, when Gene and I started out in New York City, we were given the keys to the kingdom, and we auditioned Vinnie Vincent. We auditioned other guys from Rainbow, and they just couldn't get the grasp of what it means to be in KISS. Okay, KISS is a monopoly. KISS is an organization, and if you don't have discipline, we just don't need you. And we told Ace and we told Peter that, and Peter, to his credit, understood, and he let Eric Carr replace him. And that's where we were at. And Bob Ezrin, love him to death. Bob saw the vision that we had. So if you want more information, go to kiss.com. You can get your Sour Shoes coloring books there too. There's lots of things there. But,
When was the last time you called into the Howard Stern Show?
April 9th.
April 9th. Nice.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Did they pick up or no?
Yes, he did pick up. Yes, we did talk. It was fun.
Almost in the morning, I was Don Amos for a little while. And then the Grease Man. Yeah, and then
that was Beetlejuice. Who, me? Nah, start to basketball at the concert. I gotta pick up the hot dog to make a call. It's kabibble. It's kabibble me, it's kabibble you. You know why giraffes get bad grades? Because their heads are always in the clouds.
and then I was Jackie the Joke Man. Yeah. You know why? You know what you call an Italian slum?
What?
A spaghetto. Yeah.
Funny stuff. Funny stuff.
Yeah, so we did that for a little while.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Then I played some songs. Yeah.
Do you?
Hey, it's Kid Charlie, Backtracks USA.
So you play instruments?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play instruments as well? Richard
A
just
little
asked.
bit. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it does enough, I guess.
I don't know much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, to me it does. It sounds great.
Yeah, it really does. I really do.
I really do. I'm a star, whether I like it or not.
It sounds kind of good between my ears, but I don't know once it gets out there how it sounds.
Oh my God, I love that.
Hey, I guess that's all that matters.
Well, it sounds like a song between my ears, and then this follow-up could be wine, water, and song. Oh, wine, water, and song. We're writing an album together.
I got a question for you. Since you live off the grid, do you have like Netflix and the streaming shows, or what kind of do you have the old school TV or the modern TV?
We have the regular LG television, it's flat screen, and I have dabbled with some of the trial periods, the 5-day trial period, but that's about it.
Right.
To watch some of the hockey that was on, and then, like you said, some of the things that you could see inside the television not even having the channels on. Yeah, in fact, we just watched some Sour Shoes clips
Nice.
upstairs in the
Did
living
you?
room.
Where can you
Yeah,
see those? Where can we see those?
I typed in Sour Shoes, and there was me in the studio. Stu Studio! How is Stu? Oh, I
Stu.
remember him. I remember him. I remember by name. I think he liked me just the same. Stu Studio.
We know a guy named
One,
Stu.
yeah, Stewie. One large fry. Give me just one large fry.
Hey, have you ever met Stu or no?
Yes, in your living room.
Oh, way back in the day.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So have you been over to Maddie's uh, facility? Did you go over there when Stu was there, or that was the last time you saw him?
that was the last time I saw him. I haven't seen him in the new facility yet.
Ah, okay.
In the valley. In the valley. Yeah, Matthew's got four branches
Yeah,
now.
doing great. Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
He's
that's
healing.
cool.
He's
He's
healing the
different.
world
yeah.
as he always. Well. Remember at
That's
Northridge, he was able to be with you.
yep,
I
yep.
know.
That's great that you guys are still friends and hanging out. I think that's awesome. You were very
Oh, I
supportive and
know.
integral. Yeah, back in the day for him, I remember.
Oh yeah,
Very cool.
he included us in on everything. It was the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, look what he did for little Zach for Iggy Bumps. Look
yeah,
at the care he gave him, and then we all kind of followed suit, and then that kind of led to what I ended up doing with the family that I'm with. It kind of stemmed from what Matthew was doing.
right. Oh, right. Nice. Yeah, yeah. It's good to have people around that can emulate good things for us because obviously, it's that thing about hanging out with good people, and it kind of rubs off. And again, I applaud you for helping those kids. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. To be
Thank
selfless.
you.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
they're actually a lot of ways they help me, and it works both ways because they'll hear something and they have perfect pitch. So once they hear something once, they'll repeat it and what it does for you, you know, just to see them do something in perfect synchronization, synchronized perfectly, even if it's just one thing every couple months. I mean, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
You mean that they get the voices, that they can match the voices like
Yeah,
you do?
that or putting something where it's supposed to be. Like we were
Mhm.
doing a project with pavers, and he by freehand, one of them did it perfectly freehand, perfect equidistant. Everything was equidistant in square, perfect pattern, and
Wow.
and just done so perfectly and swiftly and superbly, and
Nice.
without no complaining. If there's a tantrum, it's great. You just go, God damn it, what are you doing? And they start laughing. Ah, you're making me swear. Ah.
So you have a tantrum and then they think it's funny. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
they
Wow.
do. They think, oh, yeah. They hear it and then yep.
They
And
must have a great time with you.
yeah, they laugh about it. But they really
Nice.
like riding the shuttle bus.
Oh yeah. I remember when I was a kid riding the shuttle bus was the best thing
Mhm.
ever. Mini
Aw.
buses. Yeah.
Did you just in school or outside of school too?
Well, the buses in general, I just really
Hmm.
liked them. Um, I don't know. There's something about being on a bus with a bunch
Oh,
of people. There's so many
it's
things to
wrong.
watch.
You
What's
just
that?
reminded me. You just reminded me. Um, the show got a call in 2009, and it was a cartoon creator. And guess what the cartoon was called?
Shuttle bus.
Ming, Ming, the mini bus. I almost said mini Jew. Ming, the mini bus is on the road, makes new friends wherever he goes. Ming, the mini bus is on the road. So I got to do the songs. There was 3 songs per episode, and there was 100 episodes.
Wow.
Wow. That's 300 freaking songs you did. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like Charlie Sheen. It was like, man, the joke of the day was like, I'm going to light up like a pinball machine and pay off in silver dollars. You know what I mean? But, right, winning. But it was funny because they set me up like on 2.5 Men, they set me up with an interface, which I didn't, because we have the desktop computer. So I put the interface, and the engineer showed me how to mix MP3 and open up Mixcraft, and just to get it somewhere where then they could get it and doctor it a little sound wise and make it good enough to be in an episode. So I just little by little worked the Mixcraft to knock out all the hisses and all that, and then build tracks. So I saw how you could build tracks. The tracks of my tears, those tracks. And then make the 3 songs and then turn them into them through the email. And those went into every episode, and there was 100 of them, and it was for 2 seasons. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, because they were listening, and they inquired. And they called, I think it may have been either Richard Christie. Hey, Sour. We got someone from a cartoon, Mark Patzoner. He wants you to, get in touch with him. It was either Richard or I think it may have been Baba Booey. It may have been Gary, who said, they're interested in you doing some stuff for a cartoon. Get back to them. They're in town. They're from New Jersey. They went overseas to China. Yeah, we outsourced cartoons to China. That's okay, that much I can tell you. We got cartoons from China. We got the Wuhan flu. One hand, you know what I always say about the Wuhan? One hand washes the other. Wuhan washes the other. Yeah, that's all. So that's how that got started. China.
You're a ton
Hong
of fun.
Kong, actually. Actually, I'm wrong. It was Hong Kong.
Taiwanese.
Yeah, Taiwanese. Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah, it was Hong Kong. That's where the cartoon was out of. Not technically not China.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. This was super fun. Are there any last minute things you'd like to say or share with the
girls I loved before. Gabba 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 goo. No, this was so much fun.
You're like, no.
No.
I have some pepperoni here.
What is that?
I got some Coca-Cola and some pepperoni on hard Italian. Baby girl.
In Italian, they call pepperoni salami. They don't call it pepperoni. Yeah, there's no such thing as pepperoni.
It is pepperoni.
Say love me.
Right.
Interesting, Sri Lanka.
You know what they say in Sri Lanka? Say love me. That's just the way it goes. Hard Italian with mustard and provolone. Leave me alone. Yeah, it reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? Speaking of water, it reminds me of the guy with the foot fetish. You know how he almost drowned yesterday?
No.
He couldn't resist the undertow. From under.
Okay, and that Sour Shoe, what did one strawberry say to the other strawberry?
What?
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you. If you weren't so fresh, we wouldn't be in this jam.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
I gotta tell you something. I don't mean, Chelsea. I don't mean to hit on you, but I gotta tell you this: you're gonna go to jail. You know why? Because you
Why?
stole my heart. You're gonna go to jail for larceny because you stole my heart. Stole my heart.
My
Oh.
Lord.
Oh my Lord, oh my God, hallelujah. Richard, do you remember what you told me uh, when we were playing our soundtrack to you, Sour Sounds, Sour She Sounds? You said, all right, let me hear one of these tracks. And one of them was, Popeye sings the Beach Boys. Whoa, they climbed aboard the sloop John B. Slippy, my grandpappy and me. Around Nassau town we did roll. Skip the copy too. I wanna go home. Why don't you let me go home? I've been so knocked up, I'm gonna mutilate you. I don't wanna go home. Oh, stop! The John B. sing. They had the mainsail since slipping. And you said, "Oh my God, that reminds I hated hearing that song every day." I'm glad you did it like Popeye, because that song just that song
I,
just rails on my mind hearing that every day. Yeah.
I think that was when I had to go to Catholic school. That was one of the songs they made us sing.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanna go home.
Weird. Catholic school was very
Yeah,
weird. So,
yeah.
anywho, on that note, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And to
Thanks,
our
Richard.
viewers and listeners, this has been a treat. Leave your
Oh,
comments, like, follow, do all the things. Oh yes, you have something?
guess who popped by yesterday with 7 bags of bottles? Uncle Eugene and Aunt Laureen.
Oh,
They visited
nice.
us yesterday. Since it's been
Nice.
hard for me to get over with. Yeah, I'm gonna do the walk over there pretty soon. And they've been trying to, the phone's not working, getting through. So they sprung us with 9 bags of bottles. Hello. Yeah, they're doing great.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
All
Well,
righty.
this has been an absolute pleasure.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.